Hi, I'm Katie Halcrow with Power Up Prep, and I'm super excited today to take you through some tips and strategies to help you power up your ACT. If this is your first time with us, first, welcome. Second, check out the link below. There, you're going to find the ACT questions and the note sheets that you can do along with these videos. All right, so let's get those materials together, and we're going to be ready to power up. Okay, so we're almost there. This is the last topic. You all have done great. Thanks for sticking with me. Our last topic for this ACT English section is modifiers, which are also known as, or better known as, describing words. So the general rule for describing words is that the description needs to come right next to the thing that they're describing. So the describing words need to go right next to that thing that they're describing. An example would be, the milk from the cow is nutritious white. So that's not a good example, right? Because it sounds weird. Why? Because nutritious is describing white, right? And nutritious shouldn't be describing white, it should be describing milk. So we would say the nutritious milk from the cow is white. So the descriptive word, right, nutritious, has to go right next to the thing it's describing, the milk. Okay. So then, other than that general form of modifiers, there's also dangling modifiers that the test uses as questions. So dangling modifiers are, an example would be, thinking everyone was home, the door was locked by my dad. So think about that sentence. Does it make sense? Right now, who or what is thinking everyone was home, according to the sentence? Yeah, so according to the sentence, the door is thinking everyone was home, which is impossible, right? So we correct that by saying, thinking everyone was home, my dad locked the door, which then makes sense because thinking everyone was home is that descriptor and it's going right next to my dad. So the describing words of thinking everyone was home, which is what my dad is doing, is right next to the word my dad. Okay, so these are some of the hardest questions to get right on the ACT, but if you can recognize them and then know the steps to do them, they become much, much, much easier. So first thing is, how do we recognize these questions? Well, dangling modifier questions come in a certain form. So the answer choices will all be the same words, but they'll just be in different orders. So if it's a modifier question, you're going to have the same set of words in the answer choices, pretty much all the same length, but the words will just be in different orders. And then the other key to these questions is that the sentence is going to start with a phrase that is an ing or ed phrase. So thinking everyone was home. That's an ing word that's starting a phrase. So thinking everyone was home is my ing phrase, which also clues me in that this is going to be a modifier question. Okay, so once we know how to figure out what they are and like how to identify them, then we need to figure out what to do. So step one in figuring out what to do is deciding who or what is doing the ing or ed phrase. So just like we did in our example, we needed to decide who or what is thinking everyone was home. We decided that it was my dad. Okay, so that was step one. We decided who or what was doing the ing or ed phrase. Then, step two is that word must come right after the comma in the phrase. So thinking everyone was home, comma, my dad locked the door. So that's how we do those questions. So I know that they're a little bit tricky, but big general rule for modifiers is make sure that describing words are going right next to the thing they're describing. And if it's a dangling modifier question, what you're going to do is see that the answer choices are all the same words, just in different orders, and you have an ing or ed phrase that's starting your sentence. And so then what you're going to do is decide who or what is doing that ing or ed phrase, and then that word needs to go right after the comma. All right, you're all set. You made it through. Great work. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them below. We love to hear from you. Also, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of our curriculum or other tips and tricks that can help you power up your ACT.